Bang! Neeves Knives. I'm Jared, and today we're talking about the TS Prof Kadet. In my opinion, one of the best sharpeners you can buy. It is an elite system, extremely well built, and it takes a lot of the issues that you have with other sharpening systems out. Now, TS Prof has a lot of other sharpening systems as well, and up to date, this is the best one I've tried. Now, that's not saying I won't try a better one in the future, but as of right now, this is the best one. Now, when you do get it, it's very easy to put together. I'm not going to go in too in-depth in that. There are videos on that, on how to put it together. The directions come in the box. It's very simple. It has a nice heavy base, which is also another great thing about it. It's very stable. The base is very heavy. And then you have your angle arm, which attaches to the base. It does lock in place. Then you have your clamp arm, which slides right over the top right here. And you have a spring-loaded nut with a plastic piece right there that creates tension so that you can loosen it and then move it up and down just like that. And then when you get to your desired angle, you can screw it tight so it does not move. Now the arm, after you put the arm together, it just goes right through the eye hole, and then you have the stone stop right here so that you can set it to exactly where you want so you don't wind up pulling the stone off of the blade. So like right here on mine, that is right about where I'd want to set that. So I'd push it right up to there and screw it tight. Now I don't have to worry about it coming off. Now it does have actually a stone arm that goes right here where you can rest your rod, or a rod arm. It basically is just a stopper so that you can rest your rod on there. Mine fell off. I've had this system for a little while. I can't find it, so forgive me. It did pop off and it's in the abyss somewhere, but I get by just fine without it. Not that big of a deal, but it does come with one. Now, as far as sharpening goes and getting your angle and everything, let's talk about that right after we talk about swiveling the arm. Very simple. You snap that off and then you can spin it however you want, 360 degrees, lock it back in place. The clamps unscrew right here and you can move them. Now, I do use my own bits. In this video, we're just going to use everything that comes with the system. The only thing I'm going to use that did not come with the system is I do have my own bits. They come with all the hardware you're going to need. Like, say, for the clamps right here, it does come with the Allen wrench for this. But I'm just going to use mine because I like to use my own bits. Now, later on in the video, we will talk about different stones and different parts and different things like that towards the end of the video. Also, for the stone holder right here, they do have their Allen that comes with it. I like to use mine, but this makes it to where you can adjust this to wherever you want for however long of a stone you want to use. So if you do want to switch stones from the diamond plates to maybe a VENEV, you might have to change the length just a little bit to your desired length, and then you can lock it back in place. But one thing I love about this system is just the way it looks. It's something that looks like it just belongs on a shelf. I can just admire the way this thing looks, its build quality, the precision parts on it. I just absolutely love the way it looks. Like I said, it looks like it belongs on a shelf. And you could put it on a shelf, you know, just to sit there as kind of an art piece until you're ready to use it. Now, as far as these clamps go, you can unloosen it just like that, slide them back and forth, or you can take this all the way out and move it over to this other side so you have both clamps on one side. You might have to do that for really tiny blades. There is smaller clamps that you can get that does not come in the box. So, and I do kind of recommend you getting them, especially if you're going to do smaller blades. You can get by with what you have here, but it does help. Now, they do recommend you taping off your blade because the jaws or the clamps do not come with any rubber guards. I like to use KAPTON tape KAPTON tape works really good. It doesn't get all mushy if it gets wet. It's just a really good tape. It is a little bit more expensive, but in my opinion, it works really good. In my case, I taped the clamps, and I normally would tape the blade too, or just the blade. In this case, I'm not really too worried about it with this particular knife. This is a work knife. It's been well loved already, and if it got scratched, I'm personally not too worried about it. Now, you do not want to clamp these down too tight, because you do not want this to pinch together more so than it is right here. So just get it nice and snug, and you should be good. Don't over tighten it. Now, let's put our stone in the clamp, and we will talk about getting our angle. Now, my digital angle finder did not come with the TS Prof system. They do sell one, but mine I just bought off Amazon. So I'm going to zero it out right here on the base, put it on the stone, in the rod, all the way up to where the stone holder is, and I'm going to zero it out right there. Then I'm going to move my arm out of the way, and I'm going to see where my measurement is, or my angle. Right now we're at 18 degrees. So now what I can do is I can loosen this and now change it to my desired angle of what I want, which is going to be 17 degrees, or right around 17. Close enough. Now, in the manual, they do tell you the measurements right here. It goes from 8.5 degrees to 28.5 degrees. So this does give you an average angle. It's not perfectly accurate, but it does give you something if you do not have the digital angle finder and you just want to be close enough, and they tell you what knives each angle is best for. But if you want to be exact, get a digital angle finder. Now, one thing I really like about this system is how you can get your desired stone thickness right here. So you just loosen it up on this side right here, and this is the type of stone I'm going to use right now, so I can lock it in place right there. Now, if I wanted to switch to a VENEV, which is quite a bit thicker, I would just loosen this up after switching to this stone and lock it in place to that thickness, and then I can just swap to this stone without changing anything else. And I do really like that. Right now we have this stone in the clamp, so we are going to stick to that thickness just in case if we want to switch to the other stone, we can. Now you can see where I have hit my clamp because I had a little bit shorter of a blade in here before. Right now we are very close to getting it, but we are not hitting it, so we're going to be safe. But that is where the thinner clamps do come in handy. Now, you do not ever want to let your stone roll over the tip. You want to make sure you stop at the tip. Don't let the tip ever go past the center of the stone, because you don't want your plate to ever go like this. If it ever goes like that, you're going to round your tip. Make sure it stops at the tip. keep an eye on your grip pattern so that you can see when it gets all the way to your apex. You can see our grip pattern started at the top of the edge bevel and is working its way down to the apex. So we want to continue sharpening until our scratch pattern goes all the way to the apex, from the heel of the blade to the tip. It might wind up hitting the apex in some places before others, which is perfectly fine. Just keep working it until the whole thing goes from heel to tip, from the top of the edge bevel to the apex. And then we can check for a burr. You want to use light pressure. Let the diamonds do the work. Don't try pushing really hard to make them work faster. Just let them do their job. And if you do work one area for a second, don't work it too long before you blend it in. Now with your arm, you might want to add a little 3-in-1 oil every once in a while. Make sure it stays gliding very smoothly. And once your grip pattern is hitting from heel to tip, from the top of the edge bevel all the way to the very apex, and you have a burr, you should be able to feel a wire on the bottom part of the apex. Then it's time to flip. And you repeat the same thing on the other side. And once that side's done, then you can switch stones and go to your desired grit. You want to make sure you always start off with the coarsest stone you can and progress up to the grit you would like to stop at. In this case, we are going to stop at 600 grit. Now once you have your desired finish and you need to de-burr, you do I like to do one reverse pass and then a single pass on each side until the burr is completely gone. And then you can get these 1x6 strops. I'm going to reset it to make sure the angle's right on the strop. Load the strop. Make sure my edge is nice and cleaned off on both sides. And then do reverse passes. Okay, really quick, I want to talk about stones that you can get for this system because I do recommend getting other stones. The TS Prof stones are fine, but they do wear out pretty quickly. And I always like to start off with a little bit more of a coarser stone. Now, the TS Prof stones, they come nice and coarse, but very quickly they break in rapidly, and the really fine grits, the high grits that come from TS Prof, wear out very fast. So if you really want to get a reprofiling stone that's very, very aggressive, I recommend getting the the ATOMA 140. The ATOMA 140 is a very, very aggressive stone, and it reprofiles very fast. They have other plates as well, a 400, a 600, I think a 1000 grit. They are a little bit more expensive, but they work really, really well. Now, if you want to get a polish from the stones, I recommend getting VENEV resin bonded diamond stones. They last for a very, very long time. I've spoken a lot about the VENEV diamond stones, the resin bonded diamond stones, so they last so much longer than diamond plates because these are just diamonds on a surface. These are diamonds that are inside of a resin, so it's through and through. So the diamonds are all the way through the stone. Now, if you want to get VENEV, I recommend, and this is the 1x6, and it will work just fine. It will work just fine for the TS Prof system. You want to get the F80/F150 because they're double-sided. So you'll get the F80, F150, then the F240/F400, and then as the third stone, the F800/F1200. The 800 and the 1200 are both polishing stones. So the F80 and 150 will be your coarse, the F240 and 400 will be a medium, more of a medium grit, and the F800, 1200 will be your finishing polishing stone if you want to take it that high. Now, VENEVs also have half-inch stones, and if you're wanting to do recurves, you need a half-inch stone. Regardless what kind of stone it is, it has to be a half-inch. These will work for recurves. VENEV makes them. Now, You can also get regular diamond plates from Gritomatic. I'm going to link as much as I can down in the description. I'm not sure if I'll be able to link VENEVs, but I'll see what I can do. Now, you can go from a regular diamond plate to polish from the TS Prof stones. Their stones go up to 1,000 grit. After the 1,000, you'll want to get a couple different Gritomatic 1x6 strops. And then you'll want to get some Gunny juice. You'll want the 9, 6, 3, and 1 micron. It winds up becoming a lot of money when you when you get all of these things. You don't need all of this, but after a while you can slowly buy more and more. You really only are going to need 1 strop to deburr and to clean your edge up, but if you want to strop 2 a mirror polish, you're going to want a progression. So you're going to want to come off of your 1,000 grit diamond plate from TS Prof, then start with a 9, move to a 6, 3, 1, and then you can even get a quarter if you really want to. You can do the same thing with any of the other ones. I personally prefer to get my polishes with my stones and then to finish with a strop, but to each their own. But I do think, if you get the system and you get the TS Prof stones, you're eventually going to want to get other stones. More aggressive reprofiling stones and possibly just some other stones because the TS Prof ones will wear out fairly quickly. Now, as I said before, if you really want to do smaller blades, you can take this clamp off and move it to this side so you'll have 2 clamps right next to each other. You might have to check your angle a little bit, but I found that I've gotten decent results doing just that. They do have other clamps, though, that you can get that'll work just the same. You can just take these off and put the new clamps on. But all in all, it's a system I highly recommend, especially if you're wanting elite style edges and you're really into sharpening and you have lots of different size of knives you want to sharpen, because this will go all the way up to nice large knives. I mean, I've done really big chef knives to even fixed blades on this, and it works very, very well. So this system is as good as you can get, damn near. I mean, I know they have other systems that I do want to try, but so far it looks good. You can put it on a shelf. It just looks like a really cool system. I love the way it looks. I love the way it works. It's super solid and it's very easy to use. Now, I am going to continue talking more about this system in lives, and I do have a membership program for sharpening to teach us sharpening. I will continue talking about it in there, and I'm sure you guys will see it in many more videos to come. So I love you guys. Thank you guys for watching. Peace.